Well, hey, middle schoolers, welcome to this week of Middle School Youth. I hope you had a good week. We're going to start things off with this week's edition of TMP Cribs. All right, it's Ryan again. I guess I'm in Minecraft form now. So, long story short, I had someone who was going to show us their real life house, but they had to cancel. So I decided to show you guys my Minecraft house on our server. So here we go. This is a shot of the outside. I'm actually not finished my house yet. I'm just working on a big tower, but I've got 3 floors so far. You can kind of see my farms over there. I've got my little boat with my pond. And some cool plants planted around there. There's a village over to the left if you saw that. But once we go in... Oh, there's a little pig. Once we go in, I've kind of got the double staircase. Make sure you close the door. If I go down... This is Minecraft, and so every house, I think, should have a place where you can do all of your mining stuff. So I do have a mine somewhere down here, but in here is where I keep all of my storage. Right here, that's where I do all my furnace stuff, and over here I've got some stuff where I can make tools and craft some things, hence the craft in Minecraft. Going back upstairs, up the double staircase, cool view outside. We've got out here my balcony. And last week, Joelle was showing off her view, so here's my view in Minecraft. Pretty cool. I've got some pigs, some cows, the village again right there. I didn't close the door. That's dangerous. If we come back up here, I've got my room in here. It's a little bit of a library. If you play Minecraft, you'll know that's an enchanting table. I can enchant stuff there. Then I've got my bed and a crafting table right there. And I think this just goes up to the roof because will eventually be finished, but it's not right now. But what I want to do now is one of the things I love about Minecraft is that you can play with friends. So I really quickly want to show off, this is Renelle and Michaela. This is their house. So they've kind of got a campground going with 2 trailers. And now I think they've actually moved out, but I couldn't find where they've moved out to. So these trailers are kind of empty, but I thought they were a really cool design. So they've got their shared trailers. I'm not sure which one's Michaela and which one's Renelle. Maybe you'll have to tell your leaders. But yeah, pink and blue trailers. I like it. Little tent over here, kind of going into a cool little area. And then if you come out, I think they used to have sheep in here, but the sheep have since moved out with them. Anyways, that's it. Just a quick little segment this week. Next week we'll have someone's house, but this week I figured, hey, why not just show you my Minecraft house instead? Coming up next is this week's edition of Milkshake Roulette. This one's going to have an Italian theme, and it's featuring your leader, Harry Weeb.
Ew!
Hey guys, I get to make the milkshake this week. So today we're putting in a banana, some pineapple that I have chopped up, and some really yummy fresh garlic Caesar salad dressing. My favorite. Smells good. It's gonna taste so good. Okay. Smells good. You guys can make
Bruh.
Thanks for doing that, Perry. Coming up next, I ask Marin Unger McMillan, what have you been doing? Well, hey, Marin. Welcome to What Have You Been Doing? My question to you is, what have you been doing?
I've been watching Disney Plus. I'm going to Agape Table and cuddling with my cat a lot. I've been also longboarding a lot outside by my pool. And I've got lots of work, so yeah.
Nice. What's your favorite movie on Disney Plus?
I mean, I'm not really watching movies, I'm watching shows.
Okay.
So
Favorite TV
for
show?
shows, Diary of a Future President and High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Oh, they have like a TV series of High School Musical?
Yeah, because they're like having a play at the High School Musical where like the movie took place.
Right, okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
Does it have Zac Efron?
No, it's like there's a new Gabriella and Troy, but yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what Agape Table is.
Okay, so it's basically like Winnipeg Harvest, except it's a lot smaller. And they send us home with lots of treats, and we've been going with Sarah and Lauren, actually. So yeah, we go every week on Thursday.
Cool, very cool. So are you guys giving food to people, or you guys get the treats yourselves as well?
We get the treats because there's so much that they can't give. So
Oh, cool. So you
yeah.
get like a little extra.
Yeah.
Cool. That's really cool. But it's like you guys you serve together as families type thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going this week because I have to go into like quarantine. We weren't that worried about quarantine now, but now we have to for 2 weeks because I'm getting a surgery
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Where are you getting surgery?
on my knee. Because
Okay.
like my knee, like I have one small foot and one bigger foot. Like we don't know which one is normal. We're guessing it's the bigger one. But and my knee goes in instead of it goes like my other knee goes out. So I'm getting surgery for that.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's great. Thanks for sharing with us, Marion. I'm going to send it back over to me back in the youth theater, and I'll get us into our next segment. Hey, Marion. Thanks for sharing just a little bit of your life with us. Coming up next is another segment that you guys know well. It's called God in My Life. This week, we've got your leader, Allison Bertrand. She'll be sharing just a little bit about what God has been doing in her life during quarantine.
Hey guys, it's Allie, and this week Brian asked me to share a little bit about what God's been doing in my life. So these past many weeks have been crazy. We're literally living in the middle of a global pandemic. Like, that's insane. And so for me, I see God best through other people and through community, and also through worshiping with other people. So as you can imagine, not being able to go to church or youth, or not being able to see some of my closest Christian friends has been really tough. And honestly, I've been having some trouble seeing God in my day-to-day life. I have not been able to go out, talk to people, or have any opportunities to see him in the way that I do best. So I've been praying a lot that God would show himself to me in new ways, and he really has answered my prayer. He's shown me how much he's been working in our lives through this pandemic, and how much we still have to be thankful for. For example, I have 2 examples. One day this past week, one of my friends texted me out of the blue and asked if she could come over and just hang out with me in my backyard and worship with me a little bit, and it was awesome. She came with her guitar and we sung together, and it was something that I really needed. And then another night this week, there was a thunderstorm, which, if you know me, I love thunderstorms, and now you all know that, so yeah. And there was lightning, which is absolutely beautiful. And thunderstorms always just leave me in awe of the amazing power that God has. So these things have been a great reminder of the amazing things God has been doing, and they've been helping me to really see him. So while I really wish I could still go back to church and school and to see my friends and, leave our houses, God gave me the strength to get through this hard time, and things are really starting to look up.
So even though it can be hard to see sometimes, especially with all the bad things that are going on in the world right now, God is still good and He is always working in our lives, 24/7. He is ready all the time to hear your prayers and to answer them.
Thanks for sharing with us, Ali. Coming up next is going to be this week's Teach. This week I'll be sitting down with a leader who I introduced last week. His name is Noah Clausen. Him and I are going to have a conversation about why we go to church as Christians. Now, I know none of us have really been going to church recently, at least physically, but it is something that Christians normally do and we will be getting back to eventually. So Noah and I wanted to ask a couple key questions that you might have as middle schoolers about why we go to church and why it's important to us and to God.
Well, welcome middle schoolers. I'm here with Noah Clausen. And like I probably just said, we're going to be talking about the church and why we go to church. So we're going to get right into the conversation. I do want to start off with 2 Bible verses just so that we get kind of a foundation so you guys know that we're not just making this stuff up, but we're actually just going from what the Bible says. So Hebrews 10 verse 24 to 25 says, "Let us think of ways to motivate one another to acts of love and good works. And let us not neglect," this is important, "let us not neglect our meeting together as some people do, but encourage one another." Okay, so that's an encouragement for the early church to meet together. The second verse is Acts 2 verse 44 to 46. And it's kind of gives us an idea of what the early church looked like. And what our church should kind of look like today. It says, "All the believers met together in one place and shared everything they had. They sold their property and possessions and shared the money with those in need. They worshiped together at the temple each day, met in homes for the Lord's Supper, and shared their meals with great joy and generosity." So we get this idea of like incredible unity with Christians, with fellow believers. And so they're sharing everything together. And that's kind of what we want the church to feel like today, is that we can really come and share everything with those who are in our church community. Anyways, I want to kind of give you guys in this conversation, me and Noah are going to talk about why it is we go to church, because I don't want to be the guy who's saying you should go to church, but not give you a reason why. So Noah, if your friend, or maybe when you were in middle school or even today, if your friend was to walk up to you and say, "Noah, I'm a Christian, but I don't think I should go to church. I don't think I have to go to church." What would you say to them? Why is it important?
Well, first of all, I would say they're stupid. Just kidding. No. I would probably say that they're missing out on a lot of great opportunities to serve, one, to be in community, two, and to interact with God on a semi-regular basis. Because I think it's a great opportunity to just connect with community and be a part of something that's furthering the kingdom. And it also says in the Bible, when 2 or more are gathered, I am there also. So, I mean, you could also in the hallway be like, "Yo, what's up? How is your Christian walk?" or whatever. And that's 2 or more people, I guess. But I would say that in a Christian community where in our church, there's like maybe 300 people gathered. That way you get, me and Ryan talked about this a little bit earlier, but we talked about how the church that we go to, the meeting place, has a lot of, the range of age in our church is pretty substantial, because we have infants, then we go to like, I don't know how old we have seniors in our church. So I personally love that about our church is just the fact that we can rely on those older people to give us younger people wisdom, and for them to also learn from us on how to better communicate with other people that they come into contact with.
I like that. I love that you pointed that out. Noah, part of the reason I asked you to come on this week was last week when you were sharing in God in My Life, you said the Christian walk is not meant to be done alone. And so that's one thing I really appreciate. And the reason I think that we should be going to church is that like we can say, all I need to be a Christian is my Bible and Jesus, me, Jesus, and my Bible. But I think to do the things that Christians are called to do, we're actually asked in the Bible to do them together. Jesus asked us to be one. Yeah, so I think I really appreciated that. Maybe could you just take, I know you just come back from Bible school, so take like a minute or two. Tell us, like, I don't know, what was the most like important thing you learned about community at Bible school?
It's kind of like, I love to relate it to sports because I'm a sporty guy. I think that we can relate very similarly the Christian walk, or I could relate my experience in Bible school to be like a volleyball team or a soccer team, because those are my two main sports. Because we were there together. We had duties to make the facility run and the Bible school run and keep it sanitary and prepare meals and stuff. And I have never seen or experienced myself people, like 106 of us. I don't think I ever heard somebody complain about doing their duty. And usually in today's society, it's like, oh, why do I have to do this? Oh, why? Oh, it's so hard. I'm so tired. I just want to go play video games. But with all the community at Bode, they're like, oh yeah, let's clean the kitchen. Though I think the worst duty was floors and drains, where you had to like clean all the drains and stuff in the kitchen and practically flood the kitchen and then dig deep into the drains and grab out dirty stuff. And we occasionally had people go on outreaches, which is like short mission trips. And then they would come into the announcements and be like, hey, who wants to sub for me for floors and drains? And at least like 10 people just raised their hands. And every time I was so blown away, because I'm like, not in a million years would anybody else in any other kind of community setting do that. So I think it was super cool that we were all there for each other and able to support each other and make each other's lives or experience better.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah, I love a lot of what you actually just said is sharing everything.
Right.
We're sharing music, we're sharing in our duties, and we're actually doing that cheerfully. That's great.
Yeah.
I just want to close off by saying this, guys. I think being a Christian involves a lot of things. And it means doing a lot of things that your friends might not do. Reading your Bible, praying regularly, all of these things that help us grow closer to God, they're not necessarily easy. And I think God knew that, Jesus knew that when he asked us to do these things. And that's why he encourages us to do them together, because we can encourage each other and spur each other on to live and grow closer to Jesus. So thanks for joining us, Noah.
No problem.
I'm gonna send this back to me, and then I will send you back into small groups.
All right, so that's it for this week's video. As per usual, there'll be a link in the description or maybe a button below this video that you can click. We'll all go into a Zoom call together, maybe play a quick game, and then we'll go into small groups.